Good morning, everybody. It's Eddie J on crypto, and there is a lot to unpack today. There's some news that's going on right now that can affect right now, and there's news that's going to affect us in the long term. Let's start off with Apple. Apple's going to launch their virtual reality headset in Decentraland. I think that's going to make Mana just skyrocket. There's going to be a nice little pop probably within the next couple of days now as news starts to filter out. And then when they finally launch later this year, that's what's going to make Mana just explode. I mean, think about this. Apple in Decentraland and Apple bringing its ecosystem into the Web3 space in that kind of a manner is going to be huge. I don't care what anybody says, it's going to be huge. Also think about the timing. If they get this right and they get this toward the, in fourth quarter this year, even, third quarter this year, that's going to lead right into the holiday season, and that's going to make gifts be all about Apple, right? I mean, I could see a new phone, I could see a new iPad, but that VR headset, they'll probably launch that by itself and then introduce new stuff, at a later date. But that would be a really big deal. Nieux Society in New Orleans. I don't know if you've ever been to Mardi Gras. I have never been, but I have a lot of friends that have, and they say the biggest problem is finding a bathroom. Not even finding a bathroom, finding a clean bathroom, right? Well, Nieux Society is going to use NFTs to actually handle gatekeeping at their facilities, at their clubs, in New Orleans. And I think that's actually kind of funny, except it's actually a very big deal because it demonstrates the further use of NFTs in a different kind of use case other than passing around artwork. There are a couple of restaurants in New York where you've got to be a member, and that membership is managed by NFTs. So when I look at this, I'm kind of like, there are more use cases than people think for NFTs, and it goes even far beyond that. So pay attention to that. The EU is looking to introduce harder rules around crypto, right? France, I think, is worried that their rules, which are pretty freaking stringent around licensing for crypto, aren't good enough. So they're going to hold off until the EU comes out with theirs. Deep breath. I think that's a really bad mistake. The EU has to deal with BRICS. That's going to be a problem for them. Just shortages in energy. They have all kinds of things that they've got to contend with, but they want to pick a fight with crypto. I'm sitting here and I'm just going, there are better things for you guys to do. And I think eventually that's going to actually hurt them if they continue down that path. So hopefully they catch up and they kind of go, yeah, maybe crypto's here to stay. Maybe there are better ways to work with it. Everybody, all the governments around the world seem so, not all, but so many governments around the world, including the United States, seem so dead set against crypto. But when you look at what happens in the banking industry, remember the collapse? Who went to jail? Nobody. But as soon as something goes wrong with crypto, everybody's got to do big jail time. I'm just saying, there needs to be a better way at handling these things, and there needs to be better regulation. Gary Gensler wants to introduce a rule, or actually has already introduced a new rule and opened it up to the public to actually chime in on, and it's called, get this, regulation best execution. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, this comes from a guy who believes regulation is best implemented through execution. Right? It's not even execution. It's regulation through purgatory is the way I look at it. Because honestly, he believes that if we go after these companies, we squash these companies, it's good, but it's only good for the financial industry, and it's only going to work for a certain period of time. The United States needs to stop thinking that they own crypto. They don't. The United States does not own crypto. No country owns crypto, and therein lies the problem. Okay? Because they don't control crypto, they want to control crypto. Why? Because it does disrupt traditional finance. Traditional finance, on the other hand, is looking at it and saying, we're going to come up with ways to work with crypto to leverage it to our advantage. And we'll also kind of try to separate crypto from blockchain technology so that we can talk, crap about crypto, but still use blockchain technology. I don't know how that's working out. Other companies talk out of one side of their mouth while their hands are doing something else, right? Yeah, I'm looking at you, JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon. But I look at that and I just go, well, give it some time. Give it some time. I think they're, with banks pulling out of crypto, Signature Bank, a few other banks pulling out of crypto, diminishing or, decreasing their exposure to crypto. I think that's the wrong direction. But then again, you have crypto ATMs that are starting to take off. You have BitStop that just bought Genesis Coin. Genesis Coin powers 35% of the Bitcoin ATM transactions around the world. Something else that happened is Bitcoin Depot just introduced 440 more retail locations. Now, those two things in the Bitcoin ATM space is actually a big deal as you start to see banks that are making it hard for people to actually flip their crypto or on-ramp their fiat into the crypto space. These ATMs are making it easier for you to on-ramp your crypto or on-ramp your fiat and flip it into crypto, meaning I'm going to take my money and I'm going to go to this machine and I'm going to buy Bitcoin and I'm going to send it to a wallet. Granted, there are still KYC laws, AML laws that, pertain to that space, but clearly these companies are, getting that done. So the next question is, so banks, if you don't want to be in the game, these smaller companies are making it easy. I mean, think about it as I can send money to Cash App and then buy Bitcoin with Cash App and then send that Bitcoin wherever I want it. There are lots of companies even doing that around the country. So there's a lot going on. These ATMs are going to help the bankless, meaning people that do not have bank accounts that exist outside of the traditional financial industry. That is a very big deal. Very, very big. More on Gary Gensler's power trip. Do you know that Circle was supposed to go public with a SPAC, but the SEC wouldn't sign off on it, so that killed the deal. I'm just saying, rein in Gary Gensler and the SEC while you can, because they're not in this game to help crypto. They're not in this game to set regulation. They're in this game to squash crypto, or at least try to. Just saying. Now, the other big thing that I'm looking at is Visa. Visa says, the Visa CEO, Alfred Kelly, is saying they've got a lot of CBDC work going on around the world. That's actually big because they're obviously a big credit card company helping countries create CBDCs. And the reason why is because that whole man-in-the-middle business model is their business model. Them, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, that's their business. So they want CBDCs to happen. Again, I sit back and I look at CBDCs from a government perspective. CBDC is good. You can do all kinds of things with it. What people are afraid of are privacy issues around CBDC issuance and the use of that. So when I look at it, I'm kind of like, from a government perspective, I want to control my fiat. I need a CBDC so that I can have the speed. I can offer the good stuff from, the crypto space, but still have my fiat. From a crypto perspective, what do you need a CBDC for? We already have crypto. I'm just saying, there's a lot to consider. But if you look at everything that's going on now and the future impact over the next few years, there's a lot coming, and most of it is actually positive. Even if Gary Gensler gets his way, most of it is still positive. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. I hope you have a great day. Whoa, wait a minute. We still got to look at the numbers. Yeah, let's get to that, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that it's worthy of conversation. Something new that I'm bringing to you guys is the idea of Ethereum being deflationary. And what I mean by that is that there's less Ethereum being minted right now, being available right now because of burning, right? Making Ethereum deflationary. This is what I'm talking about. So this graph is what will show you that. Something else that we're paying attention to is just, normal numbers, right? So you've got, this week you have jobless claims coming up tomorrow, all that good stuff. The normal things. Plus, you still have the effects of Microsoft and Google announcing their numbers. The stock market takes a hit. A little bit of a hit on the crypto side, but not really. We're just kind of moving sideways for a little while, and we'll see what direction everything comes to, as my puppy is looking for some attention. Now, the next thing that I want to pay attention to is the fear and greed index. We're at 52 yesterday. Today we're at 51. All right. That says that we're in a neutral zone and we're okay with everything that's going on in the crypto space right now. That's starting to, if you look at everything that's going on, that is what is unpacking that upward movement in the crypto space. Something else that I'm paying attention to is DeFi. Yesterday we were at $61 billion. Today we're at 60, but I'm still seeing positive momentum going on in the DeFi space. Pay attention to Uniswap. Uniswap's got things going on. If I'm looking at Bitcoin, you can see again, you could just see how everything is just moving sideways right now. Nice move sideways, but still lateral movement. Right now, just waiting for that next pop. Now, if you look at this and you look at this, if you look at the crosshairs, you can see we went sideways for a little while, then we got a pop. Going sideways for a little while, I'm hoping for a little bit of a pop. And we do have positive news out there that will bring that pop forward. I'm expecting that as we close out, we're still in the middle of winter, but I think as we close out winter, hit spring, and start looking at summer, I think things are going to get better before they get worse. So I still have my DCA strategy in play, but something else that I want to explain to you guys is somebody asked me what I meant by having dry powder. Dry powder is the idea of having cash on the side. My DCA strategy says I'm going to put money into the market and I'm going to put money on the side specifically for the market. So if I see a major opportunity, I'd be able to execute on that opportunity lickety split with money that's already earmarked for that space. So anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope what I'm doing brings you an idea about how you can do your own research. This is what me and my kids do, and we're sharing it with you. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.